it because we do respect everyone's time. Just so everyone knows, this meeting is being live streamed and also recorded. So we're beginning. So, Sol Wayte, I am Katrina Billy Wilkinson, the headmaster of the Brooklyn Latin School. It is a great pleasure for me to be here with you guys today, just to share a little bit about our community here in East Williamsburg, the Bushwick area, Brooklyn, New York. Latin is for the language and not the nationality. So let me just dispel that myth for anyone that may be confused. We are a school based on classical education. Seems like we're going back and forth. Okay, are we good with the recording? All right. Classical education, and you'll hear more about that as we move forward. This evening, I'm here with some beautiful people just to share a little about ourselves. If you look here, tonight's virtual open house on this call, myself, I also have my 3 assistant headmasters, Ms. Kat Glass, Mr. Malcolm Hill, Mr. Wency Yee, also our amazing parent coordinator, Ms. Maria Valentin, as well as the office/business manager, Ms. Angie Ortiz. In addition, we have some outstanding discipuli that is going to give you a little information, a testimonial about their experience. And we will introduce them as they speak, as we come up, okay? So just before we get into the thick of things, I just wanted to give you a little insight. I know some people were disappointed that we did not have an in-person meeting, and I just want to give shed some light. Oftentimes people will reach out and say the other specialized high schools are doing this, that, and the third. We're all separate entities. We're all in different districts. We're all in different buildings. And unfortunately, we are the only specialized high school that's co-located in a building with 2 other schools. So we do not have the space to support an in-person open house, because the last time we tried, it got very dangerous in terms of the capacity. And because we are concentrated on one floor, and this is an old middle school, this is not even a high school building, the facilities aren't large enough to support that. And in all honesty, if you come into this building and come and see our school, you're not going to be impressed by the facilities, because we're in a shared location. We are not like a Tech, a Brooklyn Tech. We are not like a Stuyvesant. We make the best of what we have, but what we create is very special. So for us, it's not about the space. It's about the work that we put into our young people, the curriculum that we provide, the rigor, the support in terms of the love and safety, as well as the encouragement and true setup for them to be successful. That's what we're about. And so because we cannot support an in-person, we do this open house. Then once we know which kids are coming, we open up for informative Fridays. That's when on a Friday, disciply, we allow 50 families each throughout the month of April and May to come in and do a walk around, hear something from us, from the kids, but that is manageable. People can register, we can control the numbers. An open house doesn't look like, because we don't know the numbers, and it's a lot of unseen things. But you will have an opportunity, if you come to Brooklyn Latin, to come on in at some point and have that experience and exchange. You'll hear more about that from Ms. Valentin, who's our parent coordinator, that will be leading out that initiative and supporting you with registration if you're interested, once your child have accepted, to come on in. We are a public school. Oftentimes we get a lot of young people from charter, private, and Catholic schools. We are a New York City Department of Education school. We have to adhere to all of the policies and rules as such. My boss is the chancellor of this place, and his boss is the mayor, so they make the decision. But we do have a private school feel, but that doesn't mean that we can function solely as a private school. This will impact some people that have been used to that private charter school experience. And we support you through that transition as well. And as I stated, the specialized high schools are all very different. They have their specialty. Brooklyn Latin is an IB for all schools. You will hear more about the IB program later in this presentation, but that is what we do, and we do it well. So moving forward, here is our mission. I'd like to share the mission with you guys so you guys know if your child ends up here, this is what they will be working towards as well, and this is what we're committed to. The Brooklyn Latin School provides a classically focused liberal arts education with an emphasis on public speaking. Public speaking is in the fabric of what we do as well. Our aim is to provide the groundwork for an understanding of the foundation of our society while developing the leadership capacity of our discipuli so that they may serve as leaders in our community. All right, we were founded upon these 5 essential features, and you will hear more about these throughout the presentation as well. These guiding principles reinforce not only our mission of the school, but also the strong culture and community we strive to cultivate. Nomenclature, seminar, uniform, we are a uniform school, and the only one in the specialized high school category, declamation, as well as Latin. Thank you. Next slide, please. So you've been hearing me use some terminology that I'm sure is foreign to some of you because Latin is not a language that we're using every day around the corner at homes. But just to give you a little insight, this is something that also makes our communities different and special. When we see each other, we greet with Sol Wayte or Sol Wayte. Sol Wayte is the plural. That's why when I saw you guys on the call, I said Sol Wayte because it's a group of you. And if we did, this would be, if we were in person, this would be a call and repeat. So I would have expected you to say Sol Wayte, which is saying hello back to me as one person. The same here for discipuli. You've heard me say discipuli already. Discipuli means students. And that's what we're here to talk about. Your child, hopefully our soon-to-be student. And I welcome you to this space. Feel free to put your questions in the chat if you have any. We will get to your questions as we can. For those of you that are live streaming, you do not have the chat capability. But what you can do is email us your questions and let us get back to you with our answers. So sit back, relax, listen up, be ready to be impressed by some young, powerful minds. And it's so great to see your beautiful faces. Next up on the team, it's you.
Thanks, Miss Billy. So I'm Mr. Hill, and I'm the head of teaching and learning. I'll be talking a little bit more about the curriculum in more detail later on in the presentation. But as we continue to talk about some of our essential features, which really guide our work here, seminar is another one. We have a real focus on helping your student become a great communicator in writing and speaking and all the different ways of communicating. And seminar is a part of that. So in a seminar, students have read a text in common and sit in a circle like you see in this picture and lead themselves and each other through the discussion. And there's a lot of instruction to help them do that successfully.
Hi, everyone. Sol Wayte. My name is Miss Glass. I am the assistant headmaster for Discipuli Life. So not to brag, but I think I have the best job because I get to work with these Discipuli, these students every day, supporting them, helping them get through the school day, resolving conflicts when they come up, and just making sure it's a positive experience. So you're going to get a sense of our school culture. If you choose to come here, then we will have a process to get you inducted into our school culture, make you feel included and a part of it. And part of culture is what you see, right? So one of the first things you're going to see is the uniform. As Ms. Billy said, we're proud of it. We're one of the few schools, and we're the only specialized high school that has a uniform. I hope I don't embarrass them, but two of our Discipli are wearing the uniform. So Anthony, can you wave? And there's Milana as well. Can you wave? Thank you. So we have a few options for the uniform. Anthony's got our white button-down shirt and the tie, the neckwear. Milana has the sweater. Our students, our Discipli wear khakis. I enjoy when I take the train, and especially those first few days of school, when I'm learning the new Discipli, I can always recognize a Brooklyn Latin student because I see their uniform on the train. And I've actually heard stories of Discipli who recognized each other and, hey, do you go to Brooklyn Latin? Do you go to Brooklyn Latin? So it's part of our identity. It's part of our brand. It also, what we try to say to our students is, we dress this way, but what makes us really individual and different is not what we're wearing, but the thoughts that we have and the arguments that we share. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is another essential feature. This is so impressive to me because I never would have been able to do this in high school. In Declamation, our Discipli learn a piece that's important to them. They talk about that piece, they put it into historical or a bigger context, and then they declaim for their class. So they do this in multiple classes, some language classes, history, English. And then there's a special feature where Discipli can try out to actually declaim in front of the entire school, which is pretty wild because it's just so impressive that they do that. Every year we have Discipli from multiple grades declaiming. And they'll just wow us with these texts that they bring in and how they're able to deliver it with emotion, with feeling, with the words, with their interpretation of the words. And so this is one of our most recent declamations. We have one coming up. And then at the end of the year, the Discipli have the opportunity to participate in prize declamation. Again, it's just an opportunity to showcase different important works to the community. Next slide, please. All right, introducing Mr. Yi.
Sol Wayte, Omnes, my name is Mr. Yi. I'm the Assistant Headmaster of Operations. And later on, I will also be mentioning some of the things that I do as AHM of Operations. But as the name suggests, Brooklyn Latin, the study of Latin is the heart of Brooklyn Latin School. So this is the core of our mission, to offer classically focused liberal arts education. So at the heart of our mission is the study of Latin. That's why I saw in the chat that there were already questions about the study of Latin, and some of our Discipli already answered the question. Yes, all our Discipli take 4 years of Latin, and from the freshman year until they graduate from Brooklyn Latin School. And because we believe that the Latin as a language has a strong connection to modern languages, and it also helps our Discipli develop and build the vocabulary, as a lot of English words are rooted in Latin, and also helps them understand complex rules and patterns in English grammar and syntax. Next slide, please.
Okay, this is me. So one of the things that I love about our school is that we really put our Discipli forward, because we think that speaks to our success. The outcome is them, right? What they bring in, what we're able to do with them, what we're able to get them to talk about. They're brilliant already when they come to us, but then we help them grow throughout their 4 years. So to be honest, when I put out the call, I only asked for 2 Discipli, and then these fine people responded, and I was like, I can't say no, they're also great. So you're going to hear from 6. We're going to hear from 3 right now. Musashi, who's a senior, class 1. Anthony, who's a junior class 2, Mayel, who's a sophomore class 3. They're all super involved in different clubs, just really great people. So Musashi, you can kick it off, and then Anthony, you can follow right after, and then Mayel.
All right. Like Ms. Glass said, my name is Musashi. I am a class 1. Something that really spoke to me about our school was definitely the counseling department, especially during my college process when I was going to figure out which kind of schools I wanted to go to. They definitely really helped me. And so I thought that was a really great opportunity for me to, engage in the process and like figure out where I wanted to go. Also, the clubs here are amazing. There are many clubs that aren't really typical around other schools. Something that I'm involved in is the Frisbee Club. And we're actually having our first game this Friday. But it's definitely an experience to have. You kind of build the bonds between each other, depending on the club. And, because the community is so small, I feel like I know a lot of people in my school, and it's really nice to be able to connect between, all grades. So yeah, those are my top choices or top reasons why I think Brooklyn Latin's a great fit for me.
Thank you, Musashi. I'll carry on. Sol Wayte, I'm Anthony Duran, and I'm a class 2 student, which is a junior. Before I begin, I would like to congratulate each and every single 8th grader on the other side of the screens. Parents, you should be proud. It is an absolute pleasure to be and privilege to be accepted into one of the specialized high schools and among the top in the country with the unique curriculum and the International Baccalaureate program, which is free for every single student. To all the students on the other side, I was in your position right under 2 years ago, and it's completely normal to feel scared, excited, or confused as you start your high school career. And also thank you all for choosing to come here today to the open house. If I could share anything to students about Brooklyn Latin, I would highlight the relationships and bonds that you would form at our school. Because our school is smaller compared to other top New York City schools, the students are able to engage and interact with their peers and staff members more personally. I have met so many amazing people, staff at the school, and the fact that they're all supporting one another throughout this very important milestone of our lives is very incredible. And I would not change TBLS for any other school. If you guys have any other personal student questions, you can always email me, and I'll drop my email in the chat. Thank you.
Yay. Hey everyone. My name is Mayel, or Sol Wayte, as we would say here at Brooklyn Latin. I am a sophomore, and for those of you asking about clubs, I actually do, I believe, like 5 clubs. So I do Monty UN, Eco Club, I'm a part of Student Senate, and I'm also a part of our school's tutoring initiative. So a lot of you here are probably like, why TBLS? What makes our school so great? But one of the key things about TBLS is that we have a really great community. And that's not something you really see from the website or simply visiting our school. Additionally, we have teachers who are always striving to push you to do your best and constantly supporting you. And our school works extremely hard to foster an environment where students are free to express themselves in any way possible and dive into the world of classical learning. So if you want a school with a strong sense of community, teachers who care about you, and a place for students to express themselves, then Brooklyn Latin is the place for you. Thank you again for coming.
Okay, thank you, Mayel, Anthony, and Musashi. We really appreciate you guys being here. And we'll get to hear from 3 more of our discipuli at the end of the presentation. So in the next couple of slides, I'm gonna walk you through some of the foundations of our curriculum that students will study when they come to Brooklyn Latin. And the first thing I wanna talk about, sort of big picture, is that we are a liberal arts school. So one of the great things about studying Latin for 4 years is students also get to understand a lot about the classical world of ancient Greece and Rome. That was a really interesting society, really because it was diverse and wasn't just one society, but was peoples from all around that area interacting for the first time. So around the Mediterranean Sea, peoples from Southern Europe, North Africa, and West Asia were trading with one another and interacting a lot. And because of that diversity, that society produced a lot of new ideas and interesting ideas that hadn't come before. And one of those was a new way of thinking about education that today we call kind of the liberal arts. And so for ancient Greece and Rome, this was this new idea that education wasn't just about learning a trade or learning your job, but really education was about personal development, development in the self, and developing people for participation in society. And so for the ancient Greeks and Romans, the way they sort of achieved that goal is by having citizens study a really broad curriculum. So not specializing early for a particular job, but studying science, math, literature, history, languages, physical education, and the arts. And in the study of those, participating in a lot of public speaking, discussion, and debate, because when you learn how to communicate, you learn how to think. And also that prepares you for participating in a robust society and being a citizen in the world. And so that's what we strive to deliver in all of our curriculum in Brooklyn Latin. And we sort of sum up that idea with our 3 C's that you're seeing here. So challenge, your students are gonna really be pushed to Brooklyn Latin. That's why they're coming to a specialized high school, is because you're some of the sharpest students in the city, and we're gonna challenge you. And especially you're gonna be taking a range of college level work across all of the subjects in the school, all the disciplines. There's a lot of work around communication, both in written and spoken form. That informs kind of the seminar and declamation, essential features that you heard about earlier. And there is this emphasis on character. And so character means that through this coursework, we're not telling you what to think, but we're helping you reflect and cultivate your own personal values, your sense of self. And as you heard about from our students, you're working really closely with your fellow students in a tight-knit community and thinking about your responsibility to others in that community. And so if you visit a Brooklyn Latin classroom, you'll see that we sit in tables, not in individual row desks, because there is a lot of collaboration and community in the daily ins and out of the day. That's something we really value. Next slide, please. In terms of nuts and bolts curriculum, so we are an international baccalaureate program school. International Baccalaureate is an advanced college level curriculum that students can take in high school. It's an alternative to advanced placement or AP courses, which you may have heard about as you've been researching other schools. And we are in one of 4,000 plus schools around the world that offer the International Baccalaureate program. All over the world. And we're an IB for all school, which means that at our school, all of our juniors and seniors take all of their classes at the IB level through the IB program. And through doing that, they have the option to and the opportunity to earn a special internationally recognized diploma called the IB diploma, and take that piece of paper with them as a great achievement. And also that brings them the possibility of earning college credit, maybe skipping over some introductory courses in college when they leave us and go on to university. Next slide, please. So yeah, we generally find people are a little bit less familiar with IB compared to advanced placement. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about some of the things that make the IB program that we offer really special. The first thing that we really like about it is that it is a full program. It's not just courses. So I know in my high school, which is now many years ago, as a high school student, I took AP classes, and I could kind of pick and choose, which classes I was going to take at the AP level and which classes I was going to take as just sort of regular high school classes. IB is a really whole program. So again, all of our students are taking all their classes in 11th and 12th grade at the IB level. And that really fits with our vision of challenging students across the curriculum and helping deliver them sort of a foundation of knowledge that they can move forward into college with. In those classes, another thing that's really special is there's an emphasis on reading, writing, and speaking across the whole curriculum, not just in the humanities classes. And that's even reflected in the way students are assessed by the IB for their kind of exit assessments. So again, comparing to my own experience as an advanced placement student, I took that class for a year, and then I took a test on one day in May, and that was it. That's how the AP knew what I had learned from these courses. I does have testing that occurs at the end of 12th grade when students are finishing up those courses. But in addition to that, there are a range of other assessments that students complete throughout their 2 years in the course. These are things like writing of papers, giving presentations, oral interviews with their teacher, and those pieces are also sent to IB. And so we really like that because those exit assessments really drive our instruction, and the IB is asking students to show up in all the different types of work that they're going to encounter in college. And so that pushes us to prepare them for all the different types of ways they can show their thinking and perform across the curriculum. Addition to that, because IB is a whole program, it also has a component that extends beyond the classroom. So for students who are pursuing that optional IB diploma, they are also participating in a program called Creativity Activity Service, or CAS, which you can think of as kind of the extracurricular component of the IB, and through their clubs, either at TBLS, hobbies, or programs they're pursuing outside of school. Students are encouraged to be creative, get active and break a sweat, and give service back to their community. That is part of the IB program as well. And then also they complete an extended essay, which you can think of as a mini thesis paper for high school. So students choose any topic that they want to research and find out about, spend 2 semesters researching that, and that culminates in a 3,000 to 4,000 word paper that they write under the supervision of an academic advisor. So I think there's a lot of really special things about the IB program. And again, that does give our students the opportunity to earn that internationally recognized IB diploma on top of the New York State Regents diploma that all of our students will also graduate with. Next slide, please. Now, if you're curious about what IB courses we offer, these are the listings. I'm not going to go too much into the detail right now, but you can find a lot more information about all of our courses on our website. We recently updated the curriculum section, so just check that out under academics, and you can see course descriptions for each of these and the offerings at each grade level. And yeah, lastly, before I move on, I just want to talk a little bit about this chart showing our curriculum and the courses that students take. This is also available on our website. And this shows you from class 4, which is our nomenclature for 9th grade, all the way to class 1 when students are seniors, the courses that students have the option to take. The courses that you're seeing in purple are all courses that are part of our core curriculum. That means they're classes that all of our students take. And you'll notice in 9th and 10th grade, all of the courses are purple because our students take a very standard curriculum, a very shared curriculum in 9th and 10th grade. So yeah, this is definitely a difference from some of the other specialized high schools. I know there are certainly schools in New York City where you can specialize and take very narrow coursework. If you go to tech, you can say, hey, I want to be a pre-law major and take very, very specialized courses around that. That is not our school because, again, going back to that liberal arts philosophy, we really want our students to have a strong foundation across the curriculum so that they can leave here feeling prepared to, 1, have a sense of what they like and their strengths and weaknesses, and 2, be prepared for whatever next steps they want to take in college once they leave us. And so that is reflected in the curriculum and that philosophy of students taking pretty standard classes. In 11th and 12th grade, when students enter the IB program, students do get to make a few more choices about their program. So for a core curriculum, they can take those classes at higher level or standard level, which are sort of different levels of challenge within the IB program. And the courses in blue on that side of the screen are all electives that we offer through the IB program. And yeah, that's kind of a quick tour of students' journey curricularly through Brooklyn Latin. So in 9th and 10th grade, they're completing a lot of their Regents classes and doing some pre-IB coursework. And then in 11th and 12th grade, they're entering the IB program, completing 2 years of college level work in high school, and possibly graduating with that optional IB diploma. This slide has some links here. So we'll be sharing this presentation on our website after tonight. And if you want to know more about our curriculum, this is some great places to start for just some more detailed information. Or you can always email us, and I'm happy to answer any maybe specific questions you have about your student if they were coming to our school. Thanks so much.
Okay, and shout out to the our Disciply who are so fast on the chat. My goodness, I'm trying. I've seen some questions and I'm trying to answer them, and like 3 of you have gotten them before me, and your answers are much clearer than mine would have been. So keep those questions coming because these Discips are ready, they're knowledgeable, and they're eager to share. So part of what I do as AHM for Disciply Life is oversee our really robust extracurricular program. We are really proud of this because this is Disciply led and then faculty advised. So we look for clubs that not what we think is important, right? And what we think should happen, but what our Disciply are coming to us and saying, hey, we really want a group that talks about this or that. And so every year we have new clubs based on, the changing needs of the students that we receive. We have a club proposal process that we started out this year that was a joint commission with adults and with students that went really well. And every day from November till the end of the school year, our atria, our hallways are really buzzing with all the activities going on with our clubs. So just to give you a sense of the types of clubs, you can see some here, but we have affinity groups, so different groups based on students' identity. We have, such as Black Students Association and many others. We have lots of sports. Volleyball is one I put here because that has been a popular sport, and we now have a PSAL boys team, which we're excited about. We have many publication clubs. So Labellis, our creative writing club, is one of those, and they produce a journal at the end of the year that's extremely impressive. They also have open mics and they have workshops. We have a really strong student senate. They guide us, right? They tell us what's needed. Yes, Mael is a proud student senate member. They work really jointly with us, and we're really proud of them. We have a drama club, which is awesome. They put on a spring production. They did a smaller fall production. They even had an improv night earlier this year that was really cute. We have the Latin Year, our journalism club. They started a couple years ago having a multimedia part of their aspect of their club, which has been really great. And then we also have just many other special interest clubs. So I put Model UN as one example, since they just had a conference last 2 weeks ago in our school building that they organized and took the lead on, and had 6 different schools coming, and it was really impressive. And then they had a conference downtown last week. So those are extracurriculars. Next slide, please. All right, Mr. Yee is up.
Hi again, Mr. Yee. So as part of my role as Assistant Headmaster of Operations, I deal with the day-to-day operations of the schools and a lot of other things that are mentioned here. But Ms. Billy mentioned that at the beginning that we are a campus school, meaning we are the only specialized high school that is co-located with other schools in the building. So I'm sure many of you are wondering how do you make that work? So we are co-located with 2 other high schools, Williamsburg High School for Arts and Technology and Lyons Community School. And we share some of the spaces in the building. One of them will be the auditorium, and the other one is the cafeteria, or we call them our dining hall, and the gymnasium is also a shared space. So we have a good relationship with the other 2 schools, and over the years we never had we did not encounter any problem as with regards to the common spaces that we share as a campus. And we also follow different timetable or schedule for between the schools. So we start a little early. So by the time the other 2 schools come into the building, our Disciply are already in the classroom. And we try to minimize interaction between students with the other 2 schools. So we have dedicated exits and staircases that are used only by schools. So we encourage our Disciply to only use the staircase or the exits that are dedicated to our school. And at the same time, we also appeal to the other 2 schools to encourage their Disciply, their students, to use the dedicated staircase and exits. And one of my roles, I'm sure, as we said, we are a public school, so we follow the requirement, the state requirements for high school graduation, and that includes Regents exams. So our students are expected, same as the other students in the city and in the state, to complete 5 Regents exams to be eligible for high school graduation. But on top of that, we encourage our students to aim for higher diploma designations, and that could be the Advanced Regents Diploma, which requires, on top of the 5 required Regents, 3 other Regents exams, plus the LOTE, or other language other than English, which for ours, the Scipuli, it's usually Latin or Spanish, LOTE. So many of you may say, some of our students already took the Regents in middle school. And yes, we acknowledge that. That's why we have to make sure when they come in during their freshman year, during the 9th grade, we review their transcripts. And we also ask our Discipuli, our 9th graders, to look at their transcript and make sure that all the information, all the classes, the advanced classes they took in middle school, or the Regents exams that they sat in middle school, are reflected on their transcripts. And if they're not, then we reach out to their former middle schools, make sure get a letter or get a record of the classes that they took in middle school or the Regents exams that they already took in. So the Scipuli have that option not to take those Regents exams again. But if they want to aim for a higher score, then we allow them to sit for the same exam again, as it's only one score that appears on the transcript. Whichever higher score is the one that appears on the transcripts. And also for the courses that they took, advanced courses that they took, like Spanish or living environment or US history, we look but to make sure that they are reflected on the transcripts. And we also offer the PSAT and SAT in our school. So this will not concern incoming 9th graders, but our sophomores recently just completed the PSAT exam. It's a practice SAT. Our juniors just took last week took the SAT exam during an SAT day, and in the fall our juniors will take the our sophomores incoming will take the PSAT, which is the basis for merits and scholarship. Next slide, please. So this is our current schedule. So our normal day from Tuesday to Friday, we start at 8:20. So we dedicate 8 minutes every day for homeroom. And this is the time when we take their attendance. That's why we implore upon our students to be on time, because once they're not in the classroom within the 8 minutes during homeroom, then they will be marked absent. And if they're late, we just reverse the attendance later on and they will be marked late. But that's why if you will hear from our Discipuli maybe later that they have to be in their homeroom for their attendance to be taken, for them to be marked present for that particular day. On Mondays, however, we follow a special schedule, and if you notice, it's a jumbled up schedule because we try to line it up with this is part of sharing the dining hall, the cafeteria with the other 2 schools, because we cannot change our lunch period. So we always have to take our lunch periods for our students at a specific time. And on Tuesdays and Fridays is during period 3 or R3, which is for freshmen and our juniors, and R7 at 1:10, which is for seniors and our sophomores. So we align that in our Monday schedule. Now you probably are wondering, why is the Monday schedule different? Because on Mondays, we recognize as a community, and this is probably what other Discipuli will mention also, we value community building, and that's why we dedicated time for our students to come together on Mondays, an extended homeroom period time. And it's also the time that we have a school-wide activities like public declamation, or during March that we do different activities every Monday during extended homeroom. So you will learn more about our schedule when you come into our building. But just as for reference, this is the schedule that all our Discipuli follow every day.
Thank you, Mr. Yee, so very much. Now we're going to shift to hear some more testimonials from our amazing young Titan Discipuli. We're going to start with Ms. Dorina Azizorba. Then we'll go to Ms. Malena Brown, and then concluding with Ms. Nyla Lowry Santana. Young people, you're up.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm sure that by now you've heard that Brooklyn Latin is a considerably smaller school compared to Brooklyn Tech and all the other specialized high schools. But I feel like what hasn't been stressed enough is the fact that at the school, you develop such good and strong relationships with your teachers, to the point where I see my biology teacher walking in the hallway and I'm like, "Hi, Mr. Shangi," and like we exchange like, "Hello, how are you?" And we know each other, and I feel like they know a lot about me, which is not something that you experience at a lot of like bigger size schools. And I'm already seeing some comment questions in the chat about why do we take Latin? And for me, when I came into the school, I wasn't interested in Latin. Like, I didn't understand the importance of it. And now as a junior or a class 2 student, like learning Latin has opened my eyes to so many different like experiences in the history department, as well as in like learning other languages. Like most schools don't teach about the Byzantine or ancient Mesopotamia, and learning Latin has helped me like intertwine those two studies and just discover more about it. And also, as Mael mentioned, Latin is really the base for a lot of other languages. So Latin has helped me in Spanish, as well as in my study of French that I do outside of school. And yeah.
Hi, my name's Milana. I'm in class 3, so I'm a sophomore. And since a lot of people were asking about clubs, I also want to say that I am leadership in the medical club and our Libellus, which is our literary magazine and creative writing club. So what I want to talk about our school is a lot of people are asking, what's the importance of learning Latin? How does that help them? And I try to think of it, I'm not, always thinking, oh, how is this going to help me later in life? But I think that I just really love Latin. It's fun. And it's not just a thing where it's like, oh, if you love humanities, you're going to love Latin, because I do feel like, although it is humanities course, or at least a language, it is something that a lot of people can love, because it feels like a puzzle. It's like, you deal a lot with problem solving. And I think that it's also very interesting, and it's very unique. So, because I don't know any other schools that study Latin as much as we do. And what Dorina was saying as well, like we have a very, very tight knit community. Our counselors are great. Like I feel so close to my counselor, Mr. Ortiz. He's the best, and you get assigned that, and you're that for the next 4 years. And so yeah, it's great. Yeah, I'll also put my email in the chat in case anyone wants to ask me questions.
Hi guys, my name is Nyla. I'm in class 4, which is a freshman. Even though it's my first year, I do have a lot to say about the school. And as Ms. Billy was saying in the beginning about the school size, I feel like that's one of the best parts about the school, because when you are in such a small school with a close space, you get to get a lot of close relationships with not only your teachers, but with other people that you're going to have classes with. And in high school, relationships and friendships are a big part of it. And as well as clubs. If I'm going to recommend something as a freshman, join a club, because it really introduces you to a lot of people and a lot of teachers. I see Milana nodding her head. And so that's why I joined. And honestly, I find myself really actually wanting to put myself out there and speak more about the school and like what I like about it, which is why I'm here today. So that's why I chose Brooklyn Latin, why I love it so much.
Thank you, Nyla. And just looking at some of the questions as they're going through, because we are coming towards the end of our program, I did want to just touch upon one of the social aspects that you guys are asking about. And I am not surprised, because in this climate, especially after losing kids again yesterday in the high school, some of you are wondering what the culture is for, are kids friendly? How are they socially? Will they be bullied here? And I just want to say that no school in today's time is has come up with the cure for bringing all of that to a slow or to a halt. We have our issues like everyone else. It's just we respond, right? Things are going to happen. Things may happen. Let me not say are going, because in our community, people can lose a wallet with money in it, and it shows up. It comes right back to them. We have a lot of young people that are honest, that are good citizens and contribution to the betterment of this community. We have people that are constantly involved in making this space safe, and that's not just the adults, that's with the young people as well. But you have conflicts in any space, and things happen on social media like in any school. The best thing for you guys to do if this was to happen is to bring it to our attention. We deal with everything that comes across our desk, no matter how big or small it is, and we follow up. And we're very proud of that. We are very responsive. Not only that, on our Student Senate, they have an equity team that's solely run by young people. We have an equity team on our SLT, and we are doing equity work with our staff. We have a teaching and learning committee on our Student Senate that supports the diversity and culture and what we do within the fabric of our academics while maintaining the rigor. And we are proud of how we respond to the student voice here. And so if you're looking for a place, I can't tell you there's any place where you won't have issues, but what I will say is we respond, and not just we respond, we restore and rehabilitate the community when those things happen. And that's something I'm very proud of. So moving forward, I'd like to now introduce the parent coordinator and asking her to come on and introduce herself. We are very happy to have this situation. I have our parent coordinator because we've been without one for the past year and a half. So please welcome Ms. Maria Valentine.
Sol Wayte, everyone. So I'm the new parent coordinator, and I started here in December. And I feel very blessed to be part of the Brooklyn Latin School. Everyone has been so nice and accommodating to me and kind. What I love best about the school is when I walk through the classrooms, I hear the teachers teach with such passion, and I look into the students' eyes as I'm walking around, and I look at them and they're so attentive and so passionate about what the teacher's talking about. To hear the teacher talk, to see them listen to this teacher talk, and they're like so eager to learn. I see the bond that the students have amongst each other, and I love that as well. I'm constantly in the office. I'm practically all day in the office. And even when a student gets hurt and they have to go to the nurse or they're not feeling well, not one of them comes alone. They always come with a friend or a group of friends to comfort them or to give them that support to take them into the nurse's office. So that warms my heart because it makes me feel that I'm in a school, in a caring school, which is very important. As we get closer to May, again, I wanna emphasize, because I get a lot of the emails and I get a lot of the phone calls of parents upset because they can't come into the school for a tour. Understand that we do not have the space. We really do not have the space, but believe us when we tell you that you won't be discouraged, and you won't be disappointed if you come to our school. It's everything you've heard and more. You'll be very, very happy with the education you're going to get there. Your parents are going to be happy with the education that the students get there, and you're going to have lots of fun as well. If you have any questions, just feel free to email me and I will try to help you as much as I can. But please bear with me because I just started in December and I'm trying to learn. I'm learning as I'm going along, and whenever I don't know and then I have an answer to your question, I will find out for you and try to get the correct information. As we get closer to May, we're going to have Informative Fridays. Informative Fridays are for the students that have chosen to come to our school and are interested in getting a tour of the school. So you have to register. We're gonna have information on our website, which you will need to register, and we could only accommodate 50 at a time. Once we get up to 50, we'll stop the registration at that point, and we'll get another group for the following Friday. We're gonna try to get as many students as we can to give them the tour throughout that time, throughout the month of May. Also, as we get closer to the summer, we're going to post a list of supplies on our website for the summer program and also the assignments. So make sure to look at our website as we get closer towards the summer. And towards September, we're going to have an orientation. I don't have the date. I don't think we have a date yet, but as we get closer to September, then again, please look at our website to get that information. I think that's basically it.
Thanks, Ms. Valentine.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And again, please feel free to email me.
So as Ms. Valentine mentioned, for Disciply who do decide to come to our school, we take that transition really seriously because it's the first interaction that you're having in our building. So we've built this really intentionally over the last few years. We make sure to prioritize relationships so that Disciply can start to make friends with each other. We want every new student to feel really included because every student who is accepted and decides to come is included and does belong at our school. We want to make sure people feel prepared. So we go through the school map, we go around the school building, we set up the digital guide, and we have fun. This year we did some little skits and bingo games and silly stuff. That's on the first 3 days of school. So it's not during the summer. We intentionally do it for the first 3 days of school so that everyone can come regardless of summer plans. And then we hold off on homework for the new freshmen until the following Monday so that they can really focus on getting oriented before school starts. So I'm going to toss it to Miss Billy to close out. And thank you so much for your time, everybody.
Okay, so listen, I'm looking at this last question. Do students go on any field trip as freshmen? So yes, I'm just going to hit that since that's the last one that I'm seeing. Yes, we do a cohort trip to, it's an overnight to PBC. It's a camping, team building experience, but we will share more about that as we close out the year and have the Informative Fridays. We will also be sending correspondence to all the students that were matched with us that said yes. You will get a packet of information, and we will be reaching out over the summer. I do want to visit, although we are working over the summer, we have a skeleton crew here. So if you are corresponding, I just want to say this disclaimer because oftentimes I think people forget that summer is very far in view for educators. We only have about 3 people in the building managing a few programs. So be patient with us as we get back to you and also in between vacations, because we scatter vacations as well. So please continue to reach out, but once we hit June, correspondence may not be within the 48 hour window that we like, but that doesn't mean we're not getting in touch. You'll hear more about that. I see there were a lot of questions about the new building. So that's been something I've been, really advocating for us, championing it with our PA, who's been phenomenal. The PA has really taken up a lot of our facility issues. And together we're trying to navigate a pathway to something more. But I can't tell you that we have made any real headway on that. We are, I would have liked by this year to be saying we are going to be moving this year at so-and-so. I can't do that. So I don't know when this will happen, but we are staying vigilant and continue to advocate. Feel free to join the fight if you would like, and reach out to your city council members and people to see what they can do for us. But if Ms. Ortiz put in the chat the Brooklyn Latin Parents Association website, feel free to lean into that. They also will create a group chat for our new cohort, which is you. And I see there are questions about transportation. That's usually done in that arena as well. The Parent Association really tries to support the needs of the community, both students and staff, but also families. So you can start that going as well. Because we are a citywide school, kids are coming from all over the place. We have kids from Staten Island, from Southeast Queens to the Bronx. We do not have transportation. We do not have school buses. Everyone uses public transportation to get here. With that being said, I think I just want to ask my team if I forgot anything, because if not, I think we are going to say our goodbyes. Once again, if you guys are matched with us and you choose to come, we will be having informative Friday sessions in May for us to start to meet and greet with you. And we will share additional information at that time. If you are still unsure, I wish you well. Regardless of where you go, we want you to have an amazing high school experience that lands you in the college or career of your choice, and continue to focus on your goals as you navigate through life. Who knew the pandemic would have happened? Who knows what's happening next? But just make sure you're always working at your best and leaning into the people that love and support you the most. We are grateful for you. Thank you so much for taking this time, and enjoy. Walete, everyone. Congratulations on finishing middle school. Bye-bye.